Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 22 of my show, but this is about Episode 21 of Season 2. Now, Episode 21 of Season 2 is known as Zedd's Monster Mash, but before I start talking about it, I just want to mention something. This is the last video I'm going to be doing on, not really the last video, but it's going to be the last singular video I'm going to be doing and then the next two videos, the next video after it is going to be a separate video, but of the same season, but it's going to be just a character bio on the 3 new characters, and then the next video after that will cover the 3-part episode. I just thought I'd get that out of the way very quickly before I, sorry if you saw that in the video, before I started talking. Anyway, now getting into it, this is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 22 of my show, but this is about Episode 21 of Season 2. And Episode 21 of Season 2 is known as Zedd's Monster Mash. Now, as the name of this episode states, it's kind of a Halloween-based episode. The way this episode starts off is the Rangers are hosting this, kind of like a little Halloween get-together at the youth center in the episode, and then basically, once Kimberly tells Billy about the costumes, and then Billy agrees, and he says that some of the costumes are actually quite scary. And then he mentions to Kimberly about the upcoming World Peace Conference. Now, I'm just going to explain about that because that's actually going to play a hand in a 2-part episode that's going to be near the end of the 20 segment, and that's going to be a part of the first of the last 3 episodes of the 20 segment. It's going to be referenced again in episode 25. So I just want to get something out of the way with just a little technical information with this episode out of the way. Basically, what it is they're basically selecting 3 teenagers from Angel Grove to basically be Teen Peace ambassadors. That's the only segment of it I wanted to bring up. But like I said, the reason why I did was because... and actually before they started doing that segment, one of the people was telling them Happy Halloween, and then Kimberly was telling them Happy Halloween as well, and she tells the parents that to sign the kids in when they arrive and to sign them out when they get picked up. That way there's no confusion, which kind of makes sense. And, now getting back into what I was mentioning beforehand, after Billy said that that's an incredible opportunity, he's happy about it as well. But he wonders what could happen to their Power Ranger team, because it's 3 students being selected, and basically, if 3 of the Rangers get selected, they'll be down by 3 people. Now, that's actually going to play a hand in, like I said, that's going to play a hand in the later segment, like in a 2-part episode later on. I just wanted to get that out of the way. And then after that, what happens is, basically, then it goes to where Zedd is in the youth center, like where Zedd is in his palace, and then he's like, "Ah, Halloween! Little children dressed up as hideous creatures, demanding treats from perfect strangers. Finally, a holiday I can sink my teeth into." And basically, he mentions to Goldar about what I said, and then he tells Goldar that he's like, "They're having a party, Goldar. Does that give you any ideas?" And then Goldar tells them that does give him an idea, which basically to him the idea is that they send monsters to infiltrate their party. Oh my god. But then Zedd stops him because it is sort of similar to I don't think he's mad about Goldar's idea, but he tells Goldar that that's not his plan. Basically what his plan is in a sense is to basically throw their own party in a way. And basically, like he tells Goldar, "No, you fool, we throw our own party." And then when Babu hears about that, he says, "Did I get to dress up? He always wanted to be Little Bo Peep." Because it's like the nursery rhyme, Little Bo Peep and the sheep, they got it. And then he basically tells his minions quiet. And he tells them that he's like, "Silence, you fools. This party will have a very ghoulish guest of honor, none other than the White Ranger." And then basically, oh my god, before I finish the scene with Zedd, I just want to mention something very funny here. He's gonna make a Halloween-based pun at the end of his segment that's kind of gonna be that's gonna be the name of a two-part episode later in the later seasons, which I'll explain when I get to him talking about that. And then he tells his minions that basically, he's like, "This party will have a very ghoulish guest of honor, special guest of honor, none other than the White Ranger." And then basically, Goldar is ecstatic about that because he said that even though the White Ranger is powerful, even he can't defeat. Well, first what happens is Squad is agreeing with him, and then Goldar tells his master that even the White Ranger can't defeat all his monsters at once. And then Zedd like, "Once the White Ranger is finished and out of the way, the other power..." Now this is what I found was kind of funny in an ironic way with this episode, because what he says, "Once the White Ranger is defeated and out of the way, the other Power Rangers won't stand a ghost of a chance." Now, the reason why I say that's kind of funny is because there's a two-part episode in the 2008 Power Rangers series, let's see, the one in 2008 with, let's see, so, season 11 was Ninja Storm, season 12 was Dino Thunder, season 12 was Dino Thunder, season 13 was SPD, and then 14 and 15 were Mystic Force and Operation Overdrive, and then season 17 was Jungle Fear. There's a two-part episode in the 17th season of Power Rangers. In the 16th season of, in the Power Rangers Jungle Fury series, now the reason why I say that's funny is because there's a two-part episode in the Power Rangers Jungle Fury series. The 2008 Power Rangers series, there's a two-part episode in that series called The Ghost of a Chance. Now, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I'm sorry I mentioned something that I'm not at yet. I just wanted to mention that. Anyway, then after that, after another little scene with the Rangers, and Bulk and Skull in the youth center, the Rangers are still in the youth center preparing for taking the kids out trick-or-treating, and then basically what happens is, after that, one of the parents is thanking them for doing this, because just knowing that they'll be chaperoning her little girl and the other kids makes her feel a lot happier about Halloween. And then Billy says it's their pleasure, and to Mrs. Marks, which is basically the mom character that they're talking to in this episode. And then Bulk and Skull show up and they do this little rhyming trick-or-treat pun. And then after that, basically what happens is, after that, after Skull namely says the other segment of it, they stop, and then Kimberly tells them that aren't they supposed to be chaperones because this is like a school project, but then Bulk tells them that for him it's not, because little kids and him basically don't mix. Oh my god. And then basically what happens is that he takes a handful of these red candies and sticks them in his mouth. But Kimberly tells him not to, because those are... Now the reason why she tells him not to is because those are red hot candies, meaning they're spicy hot candies. And then after that he sticks his mouth in the apple bobbing pit to take an apple out of it to basically cool his mouth off because of the water. And then Skull is asking Bulk if he's okay, and then he mumbles because of the apple in his mouth. So Skull takes it out and he asks Bulk if he's okay, and then basically he says he's okay. And then after that, after Zedd sees that, he's like, "Foolish humans, now disguise yourselves as children and lure the White Ranger away from the others." Basically, in order to capture and this is going to sound kind of funny, but his plan, as I stated when I did his little talking segment, he tries to lure Tommy away from the other Rangers using his putties by having them disguise themselves as children. Oh my god. And then after the putties, before the putties leave, Goldar tells his master, he says that, "Your plan is brilliant, my lord." And then Zedd gets ecstatic with himself and he's like, "I know! Sometimes I even amaze myself!" And then the putties teleport down to Earth, and then they disguise themselves as miniature versions of the Rangers, and then Tommy's introducing himself to them, and he's asking them what their names are, and he says that they get it, and he tells them their secret safe, and they go off on the chaperoning trick-or-treat thing, and because he doesn't know that they're actually putties in disguise at this point. And basically what happens is, afterward, Kimberly and Billy are wondering about how Jason, Zach, and Trini are doing over at the elementary school with the kids and stuff. And basically what happens is, after that, then Tommy is basically walking with the putties that are disguised as children into certain areas. And then, well, first what happens is, then Zedd's talking with Goldar, and he's telling him that I will tolerate no mistakes this time, Goldar. Your mission is very simple. Capture the White Ranger and bring him to my dark dimension. My monsters will take it from there, and they will destroy him. And then basically what happens is, Goldar goes down to capture Tommy, and then he shows up where Tommy is, and he tells him he's like, "Trick or treat, White Ranger!" And then Tommy's telling to get to be careful. We keep telling them to stay back, but that's when they transform into their real forms as putties, and then Tommy's surprised by that, and then he starts fighting the putties, and then after a little bit of a battle with the putties, Goldar tells him that basically, he's like, Lord Zedd. Well, first he's telling him that he fell into his trap, and then he's like, Lord Zedd invites you to a special... Well, what happens is, after that, he starts fighting the putties, and then basically, after that, Goldar tells him, Lord Zedd invites you to a special Halloween hunt. And then he uses his sword to transport him to Zedd's dark dimension. And then Zedd sees that he gets a little ecstatic about that because it helps his plan out. And then this gatekeeper character is this gatekeeper monster that's working for Zedd tells him that, like, he's like, Lord Zedd has given me such an important job, gatekeeper of the dark dimension. Now, which one is the key? So he starts looking through his key ring to see which one is the key, but he realizes that he doesn't have it, so he decides to use his master key, and then he turns the lock on the tombstone, and he basically traps Tommy inside there. And then after that, basically what happens is, Tommy wonders what Zedd's up to this time, and then he tries to use his morpher to get out, but then basically what happens is this tombstone-like monster grabs his morpher, and then basically tells him that his morphing days are over, and then he summons up some of their old Zedd's old monsters that they defeated, and then basically what happens is, when Tommy sees Pumpkin Wrapper, he's like, oh great, just what I didn't need. I thought we turned you into squash, Pumpkin Wrapper. And then the Pumpkin Wrapper says in a rap-like tone where he says like, maybe you did, but it's time to get shed because of Lord Zedd's power. We're back and we're bad. And then he starts fighting. Then the Pumpkin Wrapper and Robo Goat monster, as well as a bunch of other monsters, start fighting Tommy, and he starts running from them. And then the Pumpkin Wrapper monster says in a rap-like tone where he says, hey, don't play, he's getting away! And then it goes into the scene where Billy and Kimberly are, and then Kimberly's wondering, she's worried about Tommy because he should have been back by now, and then Billy tells her that this is also odd because it appears all of the children have been accounted for. And then when Kimberly overhears that segment, she wonders about who the kids are with Tommy. So they try to contact him on his communicator, but after that, it doesn't work, and Kimberly starts to get worried. So they teleport to the command center to talk with Zordon about what happened, and then when she tells Zordon about what happened, Zordon says that, because she tells them that she thinks Tommy's in trouble, he was supposed to meet them back at the youth center, but he never showed. And then, I just want to mention something quickly before I continue. A lot of the monsters that were brought back in this episode will sort of show up in later segments. A lot of the monsters that were used for this time being brought back, like Rhino Blaster. So this is technically the first of technically the first of 4 episodes where some of the monsters from the past are brought back. Because not counting the one with the Terror Blossom, because that's a 3-part episode, and that is for that. I just wanted to mention that. Anyway, so basically a lot of the monsters that were brought back in this episode will be brought back again in in the later half of this season. And by that I mean the 40 segment. I just wanted to get that out of the way. And anyway, continuing on with where I was before, after that, when Kimberly and Billy teleported to the command center, Kimberly tells Zordon that she's worried about Tommy because he was supposed to meet them back at the youth center, but he never showed. And then Zordon tells Kimberly that her suspicions are correct. Lord Zedd has captured Tommy and trapped him in a haunted forest where he has recreated some of his most vicious monsters. And then they see Tommy fighting the monsters. And then basically what happens is Billy wonders why Tommy doesn't morph. And then Kimberly said that the reason he's not morphing is because his morpher is missing. And then Zordon tells them that Alpha is still trying to get a lock on Tommy's location. And then basically Kimberly tells Zordon that Tommy is helpless against those creatures. And then in the next scene they decide to go there to help him. And basically then it goes back into the scene where Tommy is fighting the monsters. And then the tombstone monster decides to... He said that since this is so much fun, he decided to bring back even more of his friends, which is basically a lot of different monsters that they defeated, like I said, like Rhino Blaster, Robo Goat, and stuff like that. They bring those monsters back, and then after he brings the Invincible Flytrap back, the Invincible Flytrap says that Tommy won't... Actually, well, first what happens is Kimberly is wondering that they should probably try to rescue Tommy because she can't stand waiting around. And then she tells them that they've got to contact Jason, Kimberly, and Zach, but Zordon explains that they don't have anyone to leave the younger children with, so basically Billy and Kimberly decide to go to Zedd's dimension to help Tommy out. And then basically what happens is, after that they teleport into Zedd's haunted forest. And then when the tombstone monster sees that, he says that he looks like they've got some party crashers. And let's show them how we have fun. And then basically they start fighting. Then they start fighting the other Rangers as well. Or at least Billy and Kimberly along with Tommy. And then basically, because by this point they morphed, and Billy manages to give Tommy his morpher, and then after that, he manages to morph into his Ranger form and helps them fight. And then after that, Zordon tells Alpha to teleport to the children's center where Jason, Trini, and Zach are in order to care for the children and have them teleport to the haunted forest. And then basically what happens is Alpha basically tells Zordon that that's a great idea because of it being Halloween. He'll be able to pass by undetected. So this is kind of similar. In this instance, it's kind of similar to the episode I did where they fought the Frankenstein monster back in season 1. Because of Alpha being a robot, he will be able to blend in because people will think it's a costume. And then they managed to bring Trini and Jason and Zach to Zedd Dark Dimension. And then when Pumpkin Rapper sees that, he's like, I can't believe you dare to try and make this fair! Well, first, before he's brought in there, he's saying that, I think it's cool, I think it's hot, Rangers in a real spot. And then he says another rhyme, and then after that he says the thing that I mentioned where he can't believe they dare to try to make this fair. And then when Zedd sees that, he's like, so, they like to play fair, huh? Well, I don't. So he throws down his potion to make one of the monsters grow, and they start fighting it, which is the pumpkin wrapper in this case, and they fight the pumpkin wrapper monster. Oh, but before I continue, in this episode, basically what happened with Bulk and Skull was they were trying to find out if the Rangers were really small, because Bulk came up with the idea that maybe the Power Rangers had the ability to shrink. And then basically, I just wanted to get that out of the way. And then after that, basically what happened was, now getting back into it, the Rangers fight the pumpkin wrapper monster in the Megazord, and they manage to beat it. And then after that, it's like, unbelievable! Those Power Rangers defeated an army of my best monsters. Once again, they have won the battle, but I will win the war. And then after that, basically what happens is, then it goes into a scene where the Rangers are in the youth center in their human forms, and then they're thinking they did a good job with the chaperone program, and then after that, Bulk and Skull show up, and then, because as I said, they try to figure out if the Power Rangers were small, because they think that, because Bulk came up with the idea that, the Power Rangers probably had the idea the ability to shrink. So basically, after that, he gets nauseated and said that they couldn't find any real Power Rangers. And then basically, Kimberly said that, what's the matter? Did they eat too much? Did they want some candy? And then basically what happens is, Bulk and Skull are running away, and then basically, Bulk says no more candy ever, and then basically that's where this, and then Trini said that she thinks they had a little too much trick-or-treating, and that's basically where this, and then the Rangers start laughing, and that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can, and I will see you guys probably next time for the next video. So until then, guys, just please give this video the real best you guys can, and I'll see you next time. And like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.